So the Amazon strike happened yesterday. It started yesterday where workers at a warehouse in Staten Island decided they had had enough. They had had enough. Some of their workers tested positive for coronavirus. They were not in a facility that was safe by any means. And they said, we're not going to risk our lives for this job. We're not going to risk our lives for Jeff Bezos' profits. And they started striking. And that strike is continuing. And now that has bled over into Whole Foods. Whole Foods started their strike today. Instacart striking as well. So here's an update on Amazon. We'll start with Amazon first. Outrageous. This is from a Twitter account, Make the Road New York, which has been doing a great job covering these issues, covering the strikes, covering what's going on the ground, because this Twitter account is dedicated to building power of Latinx and working class communities to achieve dignity and justice. New York's largest immigrant organization with 24,000 members. RTs do not equal endorsements, they mentioned in their Twitter handle. I was not familiar with them until this strike happened, but I've been, looking at a lot of the stuff that they've been putting out in regards to this strike. Here's what they have to say here. Outrageous. Amazon just fired our member, Chris Smalls. Who is Chris Smalls? He's one of the people who helped organize today's walkout. And this is from yesterday. Today's walkout to demand the company protect Amazon workers. His statement, Amazon would rather fire workers than face up to its total failure to do what it should to keep us safe. So Amazon fired one of the workers in charge of organizing the walkout. Here's a statement. This is the statement from Chris Smalls, the person who was fired. This is from New York. Chris Smalls, the worker who helped organize a walkout from an Amazon fulfillment center today that made national headlines, issued the following statement after being informed that he would be dismissed from his position late this afternoon. This was from yesterday. Here's what Chris had to say about it. Amazon would rather fire workers than face up to its total failure to do what it should to keep us, our families, and our communities safe. I am outraged and disappointed, but I'm not shocked. As usual, Amazon would rather sweep a problem under the rug than act to keep workers and working communities safe. Today, I stood with my coworkers because conditions at JFK 8, that's the warehouse facility where they organized the walkout, are legitimately dangerous for workers and for the public. Amazon thinks this might shut me up, but I'm going to keep speaking up. My colleagues in New York and all around the country are going to keep speaking up. We won't stop until Amazon provides real protections for our health and safety and clarity for everybody about what it is doing to keep people safe in the middle of the worst pandemic of our lifetimes. So that's what Chris had to say. And of course, this is Amazon is sending a message here. And the message Amazon is sending is, if you speak out, if you defend yourself, if you stick up for your rights, well, we're going to get rid of you. We're going to fire you. Because that's how we can fight back. Wanted to add this. This is a Twitter thread from a Financial Times reporter named Dave Lee. Amazon has confirmed it fired Chris Smalls, a worker who helped organize a protest at its Staten Island fulfillment center today. This is from yesterday. The company has said Mr. Smalls was sacked for, this is my favorite part. Get ready for this. Buckle in. The company has said Mr. Smalls was sacked for, among other things, violating social distancing guidelines and putting the safety of others at risk. Man, talk about gaslighting 101. They're saying, okay, so Amazon, by the way, has unsafe working conditions. They're forcing their people to go to work. And their warehouses are a hazard every day. They're completely hazardous for workers. And now people are testing positive for the coronavirus. Amazon doesn't give a hoot. You're still expected to go into your warehouse and work. So they're not only are they putting their employees at a huge risk, they're putting their customers at risk too. Because who do you think's packing your products? So they're putting everyone at risk. They're putting an entire world at risk for Jeff Bezos' profits. And they're certainly not practicing social. And they're saying that they're firing this person who blew the whistle, who stood up for their rights as a worker and stood up for the customer base at large too. I mean, that's why it's so disgusting when you see these headlines in the corporate media where they're like, well, Amazon workers saw an opportunity to try to get a raise. No, Amazon workers were scared for their safety and for the safety of the world around them, so they did something about it. They weren't looking for an opportunity because look at this guy. He stood up. He got fired for it. He lost his job because he stood up. And they're saying he violated social distance, put the safety of others at risk. Yeah, that guy who helped organize the workers to stand up for themselves, saying we're not going to risk our lives for this job. The guy that did that, the guy that's helping his fellow workers, he put them at risk, not Amazon. Not Amazon, who's making people work in unsanitary and unsafe conditions on a regular day. And now during a pandemic, they're doing absolutely nothing. They didn't even provide hand sanitizer for their employees. Not even hand sanitizer. Man, I mean, how do you sleep at night if you're the person who had to make that statement? If you are a representative for Amazon and you had to put out the statement, well, he's fired because he violated social distancing guidelines. The worker did that, not us, not the company. The worker did that. The guy who was standing up for health and standing up for workers, that guy wasn't practicing social distancing and put the safety of others at risk. Our company's putting the whole world at risk for Jeff Bezos' bottom line. But no, this guy. I mean, whoever came up with that like whoever did that, wow. How do you sleep at night? Do you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing. Do you see how backwards that is? I mean, it's wow. Instacart workers, this is going on Dave Lee's Twitter thread. Instacart workers were also striking today. Company sent a statement today. We saw 40% more shoppers on the platform compared to the same day and time last week. Over the last 72 hours, more groceries were sold on our platform than ever before. Well, sorry to hear that. I hope people are not using the platform to stand with these workers. That's what I'm hoping for. But that's interesting. So that's the explanation they gave for firing Chris Smalls. He wasn't practicing social distancing. By the way, we oversee the warehouses where people do not have safe social distancing, do not have sanitary conditions. People have been testing positive for the coronavirus, but we expect people to come to work anyway. We oversee that. And we oversee people who may have the coronavirus packing shipments that go all over the world. We oversee that. But this guy who stood up against all this stuff our despicable company's doing, that guy, he's the one. We're firing him because he didn't practice safety. I mean, how war is peace Orwellian can you get? And whatever PR stooge wrote that explanation, shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself. What you're doing is disgusting. You're a willing foot soldier for a predator named Jeff Bezos, a straight up psychopathic predator named Jeff Bezos. You're his willing foot soldier. All right. So that's happening with the Amazon thing.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news